welcome to another episode of Legion Elite Motorsports. I'm your host, Isaiah, and today, hopefully we're going to get that transmission down. So let's get to it. Okay, so we are going to disconnect this motor mount, including the rear motor mount, and we're going to take down the cross member and get that out of the way. And we're going to be installing, once we bring up the new transmission, the cross member with the aftermarket motor mounts. So let me get started. All right, so we got two 17s here and two 17s up front. We got 14 millimeter here. And if we go this way, another 14 there. So we're gonna rip these out and get this cross member out, and yes, then we're gonna take down the transmission mount. We're gonna get a jack up in this area and take it from there. All right, and just like that, we got the cross member out. But before we get up and start working topside, there are two bolts you want to get loose, holding the transmission together to the engine. And these are 14 millimeter. And also, as far as these, put them back so you don't mix these up. They actually are two different sizes. And with just two motor mounts holding it, it's gonna rock. I'll see that. So, motor mount on the passenger side and transmission mount is the only one holding it in. And what we're gonna do is we're going to get a jack up under here, and we're going to take loose the transmission mount, and then we're gonna take apart the starter and case and get this transmission down. Also, before I forget, near the starter, there's a bolt that needs to come out. It's that guy right there, that bolts to the transmission. So we're gonna take that one out and then continue topside. All right, so we got the jack on the engine side, and we are ready to take loose all of the bolts for the transmission. And that's what we're gonna do next. So, we have one bolt there, one bolt here, two bolts here, two for the starter, and that is it. We're gonna pop loose this transmission mount, and that is all she wrote. Yep. Right up in there. Perfect. All right, so the transmission should come down after I loosen these four bolts for the transmission mount. I have a jack holding up the transmission. And once I crack these loose, it should technically come down. Let me make sure there's no wires stuck on anything. Ground. Yep, starter's disconnected in the rear. Yep, we are good to go. Yep, okay. So I'm gonna take loose those 4 bolts. Transmission should be down. Okay, and with those screws gone and the center motor mount gone, now we're gonna lower the engine slightly and the transmission slightly, wiggle it apart. As you can see there, the gap is getting bigger. And we should have this transmission off in just a second. And just like that, she is out and up for sale, including the torque converter, which is leaking. That's fine. I'm going to clean that up. So I'm going to take that torque converter off, lay it in the transmission, and we're gonna take it from there. Okay, and to remove the torque converter, you see there's bolts there. I think it's about 5 or 6 of them all the way around. And if you can't get to it because of obvious reasons, this is a very tight space, then there's this excess port here we're gonna take down to remove this bottom piece, Visa 10. These should be 12s right here on both sides. So the 6 screws you release to get everything accessible. So we're gonna do that and take it from there. And just like that, the torque converter is out. All 4 bolts are taken loose and this whole unit is for sale. Let me know if you need it. I will shoot you a fair price. And yeah, it looks good to go. Now that we have that out of the way, we are going to take out the Flexplate. So we got 7 screws there. We're gonna pop those loose. And remember the order of these rings, because I have the proper ones for the flywheel, and we are going to make sure we put it in correctly. So we're going to take this down and we're going to grab our manual stuff. And with a 17, it is all loose. And now we can take this out. Little flex plate. All right. And now we can see the rear main seal. But on the other hand, it looks like this transmission's never been opened, which is a good thing. So that's good. So let's move on to some other stuff. And also we are going to take out the headlights, corner lights, and grille so we can make room for the Japanese bumper. And I'm going to have to throw some fog light wiring in here, including a button. But, you know, excuse the noise in the background. But yeah, so first what we're gonna do is we're gonna unlatch this like so. Let's start over here. There we go. There we go. There we go. And then we're gonna get the bottom one here. Tab over here. Perfect. Grill is out. I still need to find this. This is actually harder to find than you think. Could probably go to the dealership, but I doubt they would have something like that in stock. Okay, and next we're going to need 10mm on this side, Phillips over here on this side, and then these items will be out. Actually, and behind the corner light, I believe there's 2 more 10 millimeters. So let me get some of this started and we will take it from there. All right, got the corner lenses out. There's 2 10 millimeter bolts there. 2 10 millimeter bolts here. And same deal with the other light. And it comes right out. All right, just like that. Disconnect the HID, and that is it. Taking that out. And next will be the bumper, and we'll get to that shortly. Okay, and for the bumper, we have a fastener there. One there. One here. And there's supposed to be more. But this bumper's missing a couple tabs. There's supposed to be some for the bottom also, but I believe those are, yep, not connected there either. So, let's take these tabs out and off, and bumper off. Okay, so the bumper is out, and you see all of the tabs that are supposed to be in use, but on this car, they were not. So, alright, so this is the bumper. Might as well pitch this one up for sale too. Okay, and we've taken the crash bar out so we can test fit the bumper. Now, of course, this is before paint and everything, so bear with me. This is our bumper. It's got fog lights, all of that good stuff. So let's see what she looks like on, and then we could see if we are going to be able to save bumper support or trash bumper support. Alrighty. Okay, not all the way on, but just to get a rough idea. Alright. Good there. Then over here. Spruce that up a little bit. And this is how much area we have to play with. Now, I don't know if that's going to pan out for the plans I have for this car. And in case you were wondering what my plans are for this car, this one's actually going to be turbocharged. So this is a 1.8 liter, which I've told you guys about before. And the engine code is 4G93. So that's a little different. And, you know, we already tore down the spare motor. That one's going to be built for said turbo. But I have to work out a manifold in this space with this stuff in the way also. So it's a little challenging, not too bad, but I think I might be able to do something. But this, as far as intercooler space, that's definitely going to be rough. I was trying to avoid cutting holes into the structure. But it's looking like I might have to do that because this bumper is so short, and gotta find a way to fit a 2.5-inch pipe either this way or this way. So I'll definitely figure that out in the future, but for now, gotta find out something to support this bumper. So, yeah, a lot of options. But as far as wiring and things, I think we have plenty of room for that. So yeah, this is to kind of give you guys an idea of what's to come. So not only will this be 5-speed, but it will also have this bumper in white, fog lights working with a functioning button to turn it on and off, and yeah, I still want to squeeze the intercooler in there, but I might be asking for too much. But yeah, so that's that. Looks pretty good. We're gonna dive into this a little bit later. I just wanted to see what it looks like. Looks pretty good. I think it'll look even better once it's all one solid color, but that's a good start. All right, so let's take this off, and we are going to start fixing this area right here. I want to make sure that the clutch master fits in this spot perfectly and sits upright and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to get my Dremel, make sure that this hole is the proper size, cut back a little bit of that material there, and that should be ready. Okay, so with this bit here, making sure it's the perfect circle to fit that there, which is the clutch master. And this is the ending result. Gotta move some of the fuzz out of the way. But that is the ending result right there. And that's going to be covered up by the clutch master, so that would be technically ready to go in. And I'm also going to adjust the clutch master while I have it out. And yeah, it should be perfect. And then, yeah, we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, this is the inside of the car. It's a little dirty. Need to clean that. But, so now we have to take apart this piece and back due to the fact that we're getting rid of the shifter and we're putting in a manual shifter. So we got to get the cable and all of the bracketry underneath this out. And because this is a 2001, the computer is located directly behind this. So we're going to have to put everything over it to get to the part where everything fits in. So let's get started with that. We're going to start with the armrest. So the armrest is going to use 2 Phillips in the rear, and then up here is 2 plastic clips. You lift it up, it pops right out. So we're going to do that first, and then we're going to come back and pull the rest out. Okay, now we have 2 Phillips on the rear. All right, we're gonna put this in the seat so it doesn't get lost. Alrighty, and then after these, we have one over here This is the driver's side, and then we have one on the passenger side. Excuse the red plate sitting down there. All right, so we're gonna get this one. Right there. Okay. All right, and then there are 2 screws behind here. So in order to get to that, you have to take out your ashtray, and we're gonna just disconnect that for right now. Move that out of the way. Take off the little faceplate. You're gonna grab let me see. There we go. Grab here, pull out. All of this clips in, so it's very easy to remove. All right. And then voila, you have 2 screws here at the bottom. So we are going to take these loose, and we will be able to remove this piece. Okay, now we have 2 Phillips on the rear. All right, we're gonna put this in the seat so it doesn't get lost. Alrighty, and then after these, we have one over here. This is the driver's side, and then we have one on the passenger side. Excuse the red plate sitting down there. Alright, so we're gonna get this one. There. Okay. All right. And then there are 2 screws behind here. So in order to get to that, you have to take out your ashtray, and we're gonna just disconnect that for right now. Move that out of the way. Take off the little faceplate. You're gonna grab let me see. There we go. Grab here, pull out. All of this clips in, so it's very easy to remove. All right. And then voila, you have 2 screws here at the bottom. So we are going to take these loose, and we will be able to remove this piece. After those are removed, you're going to lift up here. See how that pops out, like so. And then you're going to pull these out. All right, loosen it up and lift it up and out. Actually, there we go. Okay, and from here, you're gonna grab some 12 millimeters here, and then you're gonna look. All right, that's the ECU, and you see the cable above it. There is, right, let's see if I can get the camera in there. Right there is gonna have to come out, and that holds the shift cable to the firewall. And those are 14 millimeter deep sockets for that there. But before we do that, we are going to take this piece, which is from the manual transmission, and we're going to put it into this piece after we clean it. So if you look at the back, there's these 4 holes here. That is to hold on to the manual version. So we are going to add this piece in, but seems not to have a shift boot. So we're going to add in a shift boot with a little bit of flavor. Okay, so we're gonna add this onto there. Oh yeah, and that will look very nice. So, okay. And just like that, the switch is done. All right, everything's looking good there. So you take your 4 screws off the old one, and you put them on the new one with the new shift boot. And it is nice and tight. So that is perfect. And we are ready to move on. Okay, so we have the 4 bolts out. So this unit is loose. This cable is for the transmission. This cable is to make sure you don't start or actually take out the key while it's in drive, reverse, or neutral, or any of the gears. So we're gonna take this one out, and then this one goes to the brake pedal to let the transmission know when you're on the brake and when to go to neutral. So there's that. And this is the cord. Let me see if you could see it wiggle. Actually, yeah, that's the one right there. This is the cord that goes to the ignition switch. And all it does is it locks a pin. And when that pin is locked, you can't take out the key. So right now, you'd be able to take it out. If I put it into reverse, neutral, or anything down here, it would lock this pin. So we're gonna eliminate all of this, of course, including this one to the brake pedal, because we're gonna be running a different brake pedal. It's gonna be the manual brake pedal, which is smaller. And also we're going to be eliminating the shift lock. Usually there's a button for the shift lock for the manual, but because this one's automatic, it doesn't have that. So we're just going to eliminate that altogether. And then from here, we don't have to pretty much worry about that, because we're going to be switching out the pedal. See how that works there. So that's that. And then last but not least, we're gonna have to take out these guys on 12 millimeters there. This is the firewall grommet. And yes, we will have the shifter and all of this out. So catch me in my next episode, and we're going to knock this stuff out. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you find this information useful, so you can do your own little swap yourself with all of the video content walking you through it step by step. But definitely more content to come continuing this project. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon for updated notification, and I will see you next episode.